So I'm just going to show you a little bit around this room. Those two doors at the end lead to different bedrooms. And over here, I have painted these skis I thrifted. And basically, when it comes to the garland, let's talk about that for a minute. I did not make a tutorial. Now I'm wishing I had, but the first thing I did was added a long strip of garland under here. It's just maybe 9 feet long. And I have little nails in the wall here. You can see the little nail. So the first thing I did was I tied up the garland, and then a lot of things are woven into it. The last thing I added were the sticks. I'm trying to be helpful. I'm trying to be helpful since I didn't show you a tutorial. Here's an example. These are just placed in. A lot of things are just simply placed. But if you have command strips, they hook around like this and command strip to attach to your mantle. I have a thrifted mantle that did not cost a lot of money, so I hammer into here, and then I use fishing wire to hold up the biggest part that comes along and down. And then I just started adding. Many things are just added right in. What have I added? Anything I could find. I've added eucalyptus. I have all kinds of eucalyptus. This is actual real eucalyptus that is dried, and this is faux eucalyptus. I have these sweet little berries. They're a very dark plum. They almost look black. And I have sticks. This is just a tiny stick. It was lying around the house. One of the dogs was actually eating it, probably brought it in, and I just added it in. Then I have longer sticks, and again, they are just slid in. Once you do the initial part where you're hanging the garland, then everything else can just slide right in. Again, these are from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Little thistles. Even these little guys. Just about anything you can put in here. And then I just had it straight out onto the floor. Here's an example. This is just a long pick. It's not attached to anything. I just slid it in. Pretty much everything on the floor here is just slid in, and I can have it sort of go back that way, or I can move it over this way if I want to. So when we got to the bottom, you're wondering what goes next. Things slid upward. So I might have taken, here's part of the garland. I have very inexpensive garland from Walmart that's the old kind that doesn't look very pretty, and I used that at the back sort of as a base. And then I had the more beautiful garland, and then these are eucalyptus from Trader Joe's, and it comes all the way down to here, and I just put it up that way, and it just all sits in there. Here's one long piece. This one fell out. Then there's a lighter piece. Here's another idea. These are just barely hanging on for life. I'm just going to show you how I slot it back in. If you can see up in here. This is just long piece. That's it. In it went. That's it. Down here, just different stems. This is a stem. These are all separate. The eucalyptus is in there, and then I just, see, that's just a little piece of something, and you can just put it right there. I think that's mistletoe. Some of them have, what are these called? Why can't I remember? Pine cones. I'm losing my mind. This was very easy to do. I know you're thinking you can't do this, or maybe you're not thinking that. It's very easy to do. Hang up your initial piece of garland and then slowly put things in. If for some reason they're not working, you take this old, the kind from Walmart, and they can grab it. See how it just grabbed my finger? And now my finger's stuck. So if you have that kind of garland in here first, hung on the command strips or the fishing wire, then if there's something that won't hang, you can hook it in with that and twist it. Or use more fishing wire and hang them up. There's some other little sticks, little twiggy bits, more eucalyptus. These are the lighter colors, and I was thinking, I don't know about that, but that's this here. And you actually can't even see my I'm going to swing this over. This is the actual garland that was at the back. If you look, it looks wider and fatter. And then, you look at it. I'm not sure I like that piece there. I'll show you. Well, he seems in there pretty good. I don't want it to fall down. Then on the side here, let's have a little look at the side. I have just stacked them up. The other side of this vintage laundry tub says hooks on it. Obviously it had hooks for the laundry room, and I just added this so either side can be used. These I thrifted at Goodwill or various places, and I have just stacked them together. There's another one on the floor here. Now I'm backing up into the dining room so you can see from a distance. I have not decorated up here yet. Just over by the door. And when I finish, I can show you all of that. So once I stacked those, I still had the trunk that I bought for about $10, and I painted it white and used rub and buff on this. Another tiny little basket just like that. There was a set of 3. And then these are part of a headboard. I had Deary cut them into different, I told him what size I wanted everything, because I like how they're all different heights. Oh, guy fell down. The other thing you can do, if they're not going in correctly, is you can bend them over and go in and hook it onto anything. Just like that. Now, he's not going to come out now. I just put a tad bit of pink in. Really, I'm thinking it blends in with the tree. Up here originally was a plain wall, and Deary came along and put shiplap on it. And he hung these, made the barn doors that are back here and hung them. They slide open. It's been a long time since I don't want to mess, I don't know of how much the mirrors are hanging onto that. I've just layered 3 mirrors. This fabulous mirror my grandfather made. Isn't it amazing? And the other 3 mirrors I thrifted. And I've just added some books here. And you can see part of this mirror was one that goes on top of a vanity in a bedroom. The tree is filled with tin boxes. I had them in my tree last year. These were just bags. I'll maybe show you that on another day so I can explain better to you. All kinds of things in here. And if you've seen my earlier videos, I filled the bottom with books. All the way around. And I thrifted this sweet little horse, so I gave him a little bit of tartan ribbon. And that is all for now. Please feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. It's free. Us old people think everything is subscribing you're paying for, but on YouTube you just subscribe and it's free. I hope you've enjoyed that. Do I need to stand back further? Oh, I'm standing on a dog's leg. Sorry, Lolly. And this goes out there to the patio. Thank you so much again for watching. Hope you have a beautiful day. And toodle pip.